Hey there and welcome. Today we're going to talk about writing slope-intercept equations from 2 points. Let's go ahead and get started. So if we're being asked to find the slope from 2 given points, there's 2 ways that we can do this. And the first way is obviously to actually graph those points and then calculate our rise over run. So if we have the points 5, -7 and 2, -3, we can simply put points at those spots. So I can go to 5, -7, and I can put a dot right there. And then I can go to 2, -3, and I can place a dot right there. And then I can actually calculate my rise over run. So I rise up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I run to the left 3, so -3. And so I can say that my slope is -4/3. And you can absolutely do it that way, and it's not wrong, but let's be honest. Sometimes drawing out a graph is just not the easiest. Or it's time consuming, or it's space consuming, or you just don't want to do it. Sometimes you're going to have numbers where it doesn't even make sense to make a graph because the numbers are like 417. While this absolutely works, and you can absolutely do it, let's try it a different way. And with this different way, it involves us needing to know an actual equation. And if you remember, we gave you the equation a little while ago, and that was that slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And that was our equation for slope. And it really just means the y value of a point minus the y value of another point over the x value of a point minus the x value of another point. But so this is where we're going to actually use this equation. So in order to do this, you need to figure out which set is your first set and which set is your second. And it actually doesn't matter. So we can say that this is x1, y1. And then our second point here is x2, y2. We can absolutely say that. Or we can flip it, and I'll show you both ways. But the whole point is that we take the second point, the second y value, so -3, we're going to subtract the first y value, which is -7. Now, I want you guys to notice right here, I had to put parentheses because it's double negative. Doesn't matter that that 7 is negative, we're still subtracting the 2, over my x2, so 2, minus my x1 of 5. So when I have this negative, I'm going to change it to a plus sign. So I end up with -3 plus 7, which gives me a +4, over 2 minus 5 is -3, which if you remember, was the slope that we got earlier. It doesn't actually matter where in our fraction the negative goes. It just needs to be someplace to signify that our fraction is in fact negative. So I told you that it doesn't matter which point you put first. So let me show you if we put the other points first. So we say that 2, -3 is x1, y1, which makes 5, -7, x2, and y2. Let me show you when we set it up that way. So we would have -7 minus -3 over 5 minus 2. Again, we have that negative, so we're going to make that a plus sign. -7 plus 3 is -4, over 5 minus 2 is 3. Again, we get the same exact slope, so it doesn't matter which way you choose. The only important part that you have to remember is that that right there is an ordered pair that goes together. This is an ordered pair that goes together. You can't flip them. If you use that second ordered pair first for y, you have to use the second ordered pair first for x. If you use the first ordered pair for y, you have to use the first ordered pair for x. You have to keep those x and y's together. It's the only actual rule there. Now that we've calculated what our slope is, we still have a missing part, and that missing part is our b value. It's our y-intercept. So let's actually find the y-intercept. With this problem, we have that our points are 0, -9, and -2, 4. So again, I'm going to use m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Again, which one you make your x1s, y1s, which ones you make your x2s, y2s, that's your choice. All right, so I'm going to call this one x1, y1. This one over here, x2, y2. Just because it shows up first and then shows up second, but that's my only reasoning. You want to go the other direction? Completely your choice. So I'm going to say my y2 is 4 minus -9 over negative 2 minus 0. Once I have done that, again, that negative negative turns into that plus sign. So I have 4 plus 9, which is 13, over negative 2 minus 0 is negative 2. So my slope for this problem is negative 13 halves. So my direction for this is going to be negative, and my steepness or shallowness for this is going to be that it's steep. 13 halves is definitely going to be steep. Now we need to actually solve for b. And the way that we do this is we're actually going to take one of our two ordered pairs, it doesn't matter which one, and we're going to plug it into our slope-intercept formula. So if we have y equals mx plus b, we already know one of our y values. We know two of our y values. Pick a point. I personally like to choose ones that have zeros in it whenever possible. So because this one has a 0 in there, I'm going to use this one just to make my life a little bit easier. I like using zeros. And we're going to use that slope that we were given. So my y value for this ordered pair that we've chosen is negative 9 equals our slope of negative 13 over 2 times our x value of 0 plus b. All I've done is I've taken my x value and plugged it in. I've taken my y value and plugged it in. It's really all that we've done. I'm now going to simplify. So I have negative 9 equals anything times 0 is 0. So that tells me that b is negative 9. So if I go to write the whole entire equation, that is going to become y equals our slope of negative 13 over 2, x minus 9. All right, so let me show you real quick that this problem would have worked the complete opposite point if we had chosen to use negative 2, positive 4. So this time, if we had our y value of 4, we would say that 4 equals our slope of negative 13 halves times our x value of negative 2 plus b. Well, this time I would have 4 equals, I have negative times a negative, which is positive, and then I have 13 over 2 times 2 over 1, which those just simplify. Our 2 divided by 2 is just simplified to give us 1. So I'm left with a positive 13 plus b. Remember that 13 is positive because we had a negative times a negative, which gives us a positive. In order to get that b by itself, we're going to subtract 13 from both sides, and we end up with b equals negative 9. So again, our equation is going to be y equals negative 13 halves x minus 9. Same answer either way. The choice is yours on which point you choose to use. And that's it for this one. So until next time, I will see you later. Love you, bye.